What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. My name is Marissa, and I am a romance writer. Today is April 11th, 2024, and I have made the decision that I want to be a romance novelist, and I want to be like Beverly Jenkins and Brenda Jackson and all of the other famous romance novelists out there. And I'm starting this channel and this video series as a way to kind of document what I'm doing and how it's going, so I can look back one day at the process that I took, but also to help those of you who want to be writers or those of you who are just interested in the writing process. So I'm going to take you on a journey of what it's like, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads. So like I said, it is April 11th. Right now I have a day job, so I'm working like 9 to 5 administratively, but I would like to at some point have being a romance writer my complete job. I want to be able to make enough money to live off of it. So you got to start somewhere, and here's where I'm starting. So let me show you the first thing that I'm working on. Okay, so I got this email, and this is the first story that I'm working on. I'll read it to you. It says, I have exciting news to share with you. Woodneath Press has an open call for submissions. If you're interested, please read below. And essentially, the Kansas City Mid-Continent Public Library is looking for stories representative of what makes Kansas City and its people unique. So you have to be a card holder of the library, which I am, and then the story has to be set in Kansas City or in essentially the Kansas City area, not necessarily the city proper. And the submission guidelines, it has to be 5,000 words, fiction, focused on Kansas City and local themes. And they do not accept works that have been previously published. And so the target date for publishing is April 2025, and submissions close this month, April 30th at midnight. Okay, so what I am working on is a short story, 5,000 to 7,000 words, about Kansas City, and I'm going to submit it and see how it goes, see if they accept my story. So the story that I'm writing is called 18th Street Blues. Here in Kansas City, there is a very famous corner, 18th and Vine, and back in the 1950s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was a hub for jazz music where African-American people lived and had community, and all of the jazz musicians would go and play music. People would listen to music, and it was just a very popular area. And so I am writing a story, and it is about a girl. She's 19, about to be 20 years old, and lives with her mom. And her mother tells her, stay away from 18th and Vine, because her mother is very religious and doesn't want her going over there carousing with the sinners and the people who are going to listen to the secular music. And her brother comes in one day and says, hey, I need your help. I need you to come play with me at the one of the jazz clubs, because he usually works with the pianist, but the pianist is sick. And so my main character, I haven't decided on a name for her yet, plays the piano in the church and is a good girl and never does anything outside of the rules. And so she sneaks out to play with her brother, and her mother catches them. And so that is the story I'm going to submit. I'm going to work on it now. And right now I have, right now I'm calling it 18th Street Blues, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the title. I have 2,800 words. So I'm just over halfway done with the story. So today on April 11th, I'm going to write. I'm going to show you what I wrote, and we'll go from there. All right, I know it's kind of hard to see my computer, but I'm just going to show you what I got. So right now I'm starting at 2,802 words, and I have written the beginning, and so the middle part is she plays well. Right now, my main character's name is Marilyn, because that's my mom's name, and I wanted to do something special for her. But I don't know if her name really goes with the story, if that makes sense. So I have to finish the middle, where essentially Marilyn goes to the club, and she plays very well. And then at the end, her mother's going to show up. And the reason the brother wants to play, is so adamant about playing at this club, is because the Duke, kind of named after Duke Ellington, shows up and is playing in the city, and so the brother wants to join his band. So the twist is that her mother shows up and knows who the Duke is and makes her go home, but she doesn't really get in trouble. So this is what I've written so far. Like I said, about 2,800 words. And so here's where we're going to keep writing. This is where, after William was introduced, she followed him on stage, keeping her face down, more from nervousness than concern. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add some information about them getting on stage and playing, and then we'll see how much writing I get done. Remember, I got to get to 5,000 words. So it took me about an hour and a half, and I'm going to rest for the day. This has been a great day one. I started at 2,802 words, and now I have 3,204 words. So 400 words, 402 words, I guess, that I wrote that took me, like I said, about an hour and a half. Of course, with TikTok breaks and Facebook breaks in there. But can I read to you what I've written today? So just remember, this is the first draft. It's the first time I'm kind of getting the story out of my brain and onto paper. So this is what I have come up with for day one. All right, and sorry if it's hard to see, but I'll read it to you. Her brother walked straight to the microphone, shoulders back and head held high. "How's everyone feeling tonight?" he asked. When the crowd responded positively, he continued, "Are y'all ready to feel better?" She'd known William was cocky, but to witness it in real time was awe-inspiring. He had a cool-toned voice, unbothered by the glare or the audience members. The moment she recognized Hayslip, her confidence wavered, but William seemed to thrive on the pressure. He described the music he played, introduced Jerome on the saxophone, and brought his trumpet to his lips. William blew a long, thick note announcing his arrival. The crowd hushed as the music started, wanting to consume as much of it as they could. Marilyn inhaled the path William laid, letting the music rest in her ears before she decided to join. It all felt familiar, the way he unconsciously paced across the stage and breathed through notes. Once she understood the journey they were on, she pressed the first few notes of her own. Now let me pause it. This story is now, like I said, I'm in the middle of the story. They're going on the stage. They're going to play for the Duke, who's going to come in here shortly. So Marilyn shook her head when the first few pings came out softly, unconfident. The one thing Mr. Fishback, her piano teacher, couldn't stand was a weak piano player. Either she knew where the notes were, or she didn't. If she didn't know where the keys were, there was no reason for her to be playing. If she did understand her finger placement, why would she ever play tentatively? Playing shy was shameful and wasteful. For the first time in her life, Marilyn let her fingers play whatever melody they wanted. She lost herself in the strains of the music, following the pace William set. Ultimately, it wasn't about her. He was trying to showcase to the audience the music he had in his heart, and she was there to support. There was no way she could mess up. For 30 minutes straight, see, I highlighted the fours because when I start to get repetitive and I see it, I just, I'll go back and fix it maybe, sometime. Or maybe I'll just leave it there, but I just like to note it in case I see it. And for 30 minutes straight, William led her on a chase, high notes mixed with low. At times she pressed the key so hard there was a chance they'd go right through to the undercarriage. One moment she let the boys play their horns, taking all the attention. Then the next she carried the tune, demanding respect as the newest member of the group. The frenzied rush of music lifted her higher than she'd ever been before. They were in the middle of a tempo change when the air was sucked from the room. Marilyn felt everyone. I had written this before, so I didn't write that today. Okay, so this is when the Duke comes in. Dressed in a light-colored suit, the man greeted the crowd, starting, that's supposed to be two, form around him. Initially, as they played, William had all the room's attention. As a suited man followed a host toward the table, the stage had been forgotten, and all eyes watched the man's every movement. William met Marilyn's eye on wings, letting her know that the Duke had arrived. He hadn't been what she was expecting, but she was excited to see him nevertheless. A balding man. And that's where I stopped. So, like I said, 3,204 words. So I'm really proud of the work that I've done today. I've gotten 400 words written down. I'm at 3,000 words. 2,000 more, and then hopefully I'll get it done. Like I said, today is April 11th, and it's due by April 30th. So I need to finish writing the 2,000 words. I need to send it to my writing partner or someone else to look over it, to give me notes, edit it, and then I will submit it. And as I do all of that, I will take you on my journey every day. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.